You want Deion Sanders?
Yes, because when you think about building and you think about old school values, he has them. You talking about the Buffalo team he inherited that was 1-11 the year before. He came in there with that fancy speech of I'm bringing my Louis bags. That shows that you know how to build from scratch at that. So I just think that that's one of those situations where because of how him and Jerry's relationship is, he could be one of those guys that say, hey, Jerry, if you bringing me in, I'm running the ship and you got to stand back. Like, I don't need you in the way. I know how to do this. Mm-hmm. And I think he's going to hold guys accountable. He has a famous quote where he said, listen, I don't care what you're getting paid. I have a problem with guys getting paid a lot of money and not doing their job. That's one of the problems with Dallas.
You go, boy.
Whoa. Hey, this a vibe, nigga. Whoa. Woo. Secure the bag, I need more. Hey, 3P, Jordan. Whoa. Woo. I can't keep it on the low. This a whole vibe. I don't need a plug, no cosign. Thinking out loud, that's a gold mine. Mask on, yeah, COVID-19. Baby mama, yeah, looking like Rihanna. Rest in peace to George, rest in peace Brianna. Still kicking like Van Damme with my niggas in Amsterdam.
Yo. Do not adjust your TV sets. The band is back together. Sports Talk. Myself, this bearded handsome fellow. We got Off the Top Sports Radio here on episode 57, 58, 59. Who cares? It's the U-Goboy Podcast Sports Talk coming at you right now. Yahtzee. Yo, Steve, I just need Kevin Natchez. That's all I need. Give me 10 of them.
The band is back together. The band is back together. The band is back together.
It's your boy, You Go Boy. Sports Talk, you know what time it is. You see this beard. You see that beard. That's Mongo. And we got the dynamic duo, the dream team from Off the Top Sports in Newark. My main man June, my main man Barry. What's good, fellas? What's good?
I'm good, man. Thank you for having us. Pleasure to be here. Go Bucks.
Glad he turned the hat to the back like Ash Ketchum real quick. fellas, how you feel, man? How you feeling, Mongo?
Doing great. You know, last Black Friday I was watching the Jets get their butts kicked by the Dolphins, so nice that I haven't had a lose yet this weekend. Sorry, Drew. Sorry about that. But otherwise doing good.
Fellas, how was Thanksgiving? How y'all doing?
Thanksgiving was amazing. Food good. Another Cowboy victory over the Giants.
Who knows? Who'd have guessed it?
I told him Tuesday.
Oh, it comes out.
If it's one team we can beat. If there's one team they can beat, it's the Giants.
Yep. I was at the Thursday night game, so, it was very unimpressive, but it was a win nonetheless.
Yeah.
At MetLife Cowboy Stadium.
Right.
That's the,
no doubt.
What's up, dog?
If you want to ask me how my Thanksgiving went, the food was good, but the game for me, of course, as everybody know, I'm a Giants fan. Didn't go well. If it was one win, I needed to win on this remaining schedule. It was that one, and they could lose the rest of the games, but. Hey, man.
You should be thanking us.
Nah.
Right.
You should be thanking us. You're welcome.
You're
welcome.
Savage.
Right. Yeah.
I hate Dallas, man.
I know, and you hate us even more.
Yeah.
8 straight. That's kind of wild. That's just something that's kind of unheard of in sports, in pro sports.
That kind
when
of
you
dominance.
have that type of dominance over one team. But we've seen it before. With the Patriots over the Bills and their whole division and stuff like that. So
I'll never feel bad because of 2007. That was our chip that you guys stole. That was our chip. You stole our chip in 2007. We've been through this.
Hey. Hey.
The good old days. And every time I go to a Giant Cowboy game at MetLife Cowboy Stadium, they always show, and now a flashback of the 2007 playoff game at Texas Stadium. I'm just like, it's in black and white at this point. It's so long ago.
Yeah, that's so long.
Shout out to R.W. McCoy.
Oh, God, look at this guy.
Shout out to Monty Tuma.
Digging up names from the 1950s.
Right.
Okay. All right. But anyway, round of applause for all the subscribers across all the channels, across all the social media platforms, all the digital platforms. Thank you guys for blowing up the show. Love you guys. Love you guys so much. Give me another LA night. Give me some Ric Flairs. I haven't heard enough Ricks. Oh yeah. So this is Sports Talk. We're gonna recap the Black Friday game that just took place, a debacle, if you want to call that. All three of the Thanksgiving Day traditional games, as well as we'll preview the upcoming week as well, and some breaking news as well with some coaches that needed to be fired 2 months ago that finally got fired today. But we'll kick things off with some Shakespeare. To tank or not to tank? That is the question. All right. We'll kick things off with the Giants, and then we'll make it to the Jets, and then we'll bring it home with America's team. My main man. Should the Giants be in tank mode?
Tank. All the way.
All the tanks.
That's crazy.
Tank.
That's insane. It's insane.
We need the best player available in this draft. If that takes us to be at the number 1 spot or the number 2 spot, which look like that's where we're gonna land, let's go, man. We need the best quarterback.
But quick question there, because I had this question from my cousin. Shout out my boy Robert X, my little brother. He's a huge Giant fan / closet Raven fan. The Giants haven't drafted a black quarterback in 100 years of existence.
Listen,
you want to comment on that?
listen.
That's what I said.
They
Dun,
cannot
dun.
mess this one up.
Hit it, Steve.
Now, this is the year, because let's keep it real. The top 2 quarterbacks are
African Americans.
All right?
One more time, Steve. One more time.
So you cannot trying to dip and trying to talk anybody of Carson Beck or Quinn Ewers are top quarterbacks.
Exactly who they will
That's who they're taking.
No.
That's who they're taking.
And you know how these scouts during draft time, they will gas a quarterback up in a minute.
We remember J.J. McCarthy.
Yeah.
Remember that guy? How's he doing?
You remember Zach Wilson?
Yeah, you remember Zach Wilson?
Right.
How's he doing?
How you doing? Right.
So they can't mess this one up. Or look, if they do
Or you
it,
hope they don't.
hey,
That's
you
the
go. If they do it, I am done.
I can see Carson Beck in a.
No.
I can.
No.
I can.
Trash.
Guess what?
Trash.
6'5".
Trash.
6'5", you know,
Trash.
looks like Zach Morris. I mean,
Savage.
yo, he's
the prototype.
New York ready.
He's the prototype.
He's New York ready,
Trash.
man. So you know,
Trash.
I'm just telling you, man. You know,
You have
It's
to be.
either
tradition is not on your side.
100 years, bro.
I know.
You have to answer for these war crimes. 100 years of not drafting a black quarterback
Savage.
is insane. It's
Look.
insane.
Savage.
they need. It's a new day, man. It's a new.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
day. And they need
Shout
a
out to
draft.
Big E.
Yeah. They about to have a celebration anyway. In a couple weeks, so. Look, they need the draft.
Joe Shane has no more room for mess ups.
Correct.
I'm
Or
telling you
Dable.
that now. Or Dable.
It's a
But
package
Joe
deal.
Shane,
Because they.
the way Mara, and I watched that off season, not training camp, but off season Hard Knocks,
yeah.
and I'm telling you right now, the way Mara looked when he left that room when they realized that Saquon Barkley signed with the Eagles. I know he made a comment about not having many sleepless nights ahead, and I know he is not well rested at this point.
That man has bags on his eyes. He hasn't slept in months.
And he's biting his lip right now. Like, Shane, you better fix this.
Got Saquon out here looking like
The
Bo Jackson.
pressure is on.
Damn it.
The pressure is on.
You understand how when I was watching Sunday Night Football this past weekend?
Disgust. Yeah, was Pusha T? Yuck.
Like, I once had that guy in my backfield.
For several years. Several.
And you just didn't want to give him a little extra money. Money you gave to a Drew Lock who I watched last night. Horrible. That's why they had the veto over you. Because you're horrible at playing football. Horrible.
Drew Lock was your leading rusher.
Was your leading rusher? Yeah, he did use his legs pretty effectively last
Nasty
night.
word.
Savage.
Nasty word.
Savage.
Nasty word.
Savage.
Nasty
Savage.
word, bro.
Savage.
Lord. So tank mode. You're in tank mode.
Tank mode. Tank.
And affirmative action, you believe they'll take a black quarterback finally.
I don't
I don't think they will.
But I don't really understand.
I don't believe they will.
I don't understand what was so hard about not development, but just investing into the offensive line. You keep Saquon to give him some, some holes to run through.
I think they invested in the offensive line this year.
No, not enough.
They did.
Not
Yes,
enough.
they did.
Not enough.
We got John Ryan.
naming guys.
I think you guys tried.
They
I think
tried.
you guys tried. Schmidt from Minnesota is
Second
center. Neil's a first-round pick.
Neil, first
Thomas is a first-round pick.
Neil is horrible.
Runyon, you signed in free agency. You
Right.
tried. I'm saying you tried.
You
Whether
tried.
you succeeded or not is a different question.
Correct.
But the effort was there. The execution was not. That's
Right.
the issue. Tell me when I'm telling lies.
How many times was Drew Lock sacked last night?
Like 6.
Yeah.
Tell me when I'm telling
And
lies.
one play, Evan Neal almost sacked him. One play, Evan Neal almost sacked him. Remove that part. That's all
Yeah.
play.
You know when they bring, you know at the end when they bring everybody for the turkey legs and the turducken, it was the whole defense.
Yeah.
Micah was there. Mozzie
Savage.
Smith, who does
Savage.
nothing,
Savage.
he's there.
Overshown.
Overshown was there. Eric Kendricks. Everybody had drumsticks just eating. Micah got the sauce in
Tell
his
me
too.
when I'm telling lies.
I'm just saying. We feasted. Yeah. It got seconds.
We'll be good one day.
But that's a bit why I question the idea of the tank here, because you said it right. The strategy was there in the offseason. There was a plan, right? They went out and got those very statistically friendly but really unknown offensive linemen to pair with their first rounders.
Savage. Savages.
I
Lord.
love the Burns trade for you guys. I thought that was great.
I did too.
But
I did too.
It looks
it
good.
looks good, right?
It looks good right now.
Has the progress really been there though?
Yes.
5th overall in sacks. I mean, that's what you wanted.
That's a lot of
you
Sexy Dex.
No,
That's a lot of Dexter Lawrence.
No, it's Brian Burns.
Who's
too.
out for the year now, by the way?
But
He's out.
He's out for the
But
year. I
part
just got the text about.
Oh wow! So
But
you're
part of-
definitely tanking.
part of all that stuff from Lawrence is you can't really double them when you got to watch Tibbs on one side and you got to watch Burns on the other side. They did what they wanted to do. They're a sack first defense that doesn't intercept the ball at all. They give up a ton of rushing yards, right? Dead last in yards per carry on defense. They're middle of the pack, yards per carry on offense. Meanwhile, they don't throw the ball more than 15 yards. They're dead last in 20-plus yard passes. But that was what you set out to do this year, right?
Yeah.
So they're doing what they wanted to do. And in that sense, I do want to kind of advise the Giants, just run the course, finish the year, see how sustainable this truly is. And in the meantime, if you lose, you're probably going to lose anyway, right? Eagles look bad, Ravens look bad, Falcons look bad in terms of winnability of games, right?
Yeah.
And honestly, to what you were saying, Raiders, Browns, Giants, right? Should be the 3 teams towards the bottom, all actively looking, because the Pats are down there, but you got to assume they're going to stick with Drake May,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Jags
sure.
are down there. You got to assume they're going to stick with.
They just paid him. They just paid him.
They said
Trevor
Cleveland's
Lawrence.
sticking with Deshaun.
Well, that makes it even easier.
I think they have to with
honestly,
their
I hate-
contracts.
I hate to
Go
tell
ahead.
you-
Mongo, they can't mess this up.
Right, right, I'm
There's
with
no
you.
way you could dip in.
I'm with you. So even if you accidentally beat the
He's
Saints, I think they might still be the second team taking a
Savage.
quarterback on the board. Because I hate to say it, sorry guys, even Bryce Young is starting to look tolerable. I mean, even the Panthers might
He's
give him
he's
another
made
run.
some strides.
The
He's
Giants
made
could be
some
picking
strides.
5th or 6th and still be the second team who needs a quarterback.
Agreed. Like the video. Listen, if you're in tank mode, and we'll get to Dallas. So actually, let's wrap with the Jets. We'll finish with the Jets. If you're gonna be in tank mode or a lost season, at best you want some development. Because that's where I'm at. I believe that's where my main man is at as well. It's like, we're not going to the playoffs. Let's at least develop these players that we do have. That we know
mathematically out yet, though.
We'll be out. Trust me. Like it's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming.
But I looked at Dallas' schedule too, and there's some winnable games on that schedule,
That's
man.
why
There's
I
some
say-
teams that aren't playing as well, and that's why I was thinking.
Wild card?
No, not wild
Dare you?
card.
How
not
dare
thinking-
you?
No. I'm not even thinking playoffs. But what I'm saying is there are some winnable games left on the schedule.
Savage.
You continue to play. Just continue to play as hard as you can play. Leave it all on the field, and then find something I feel like to build off going into the next year. The unknown is what's going to happen coaching wise.
Yeah.
If they're actually going to be active in free agency next year.
Yes.
So that's the unknown. But what you already have there, you got good pieces there still.
Yeah.
Especially on the defensive side.
Yes, yes.
There's a few receivers away. Some offensive line work, and you never can have too many edge rushers.
Yeah.
If you're talking about, how you approach the draft.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think that I'm not a big tank guy. I feel like Dallas can continue to play with some pride. Give the fans something, even though you've given them much of nothing the first part. Finish the season strong, and then go into the off season and get to work and try to build something into the next year. Because that's usually how it goes. Every time we have these historically bad years,
we come
or
back
these
with
years with, decimated by injuries, this reminds me exactly of 2015.
Agreed.
The year that Tony Romo missed like 12, 13 games or something like that. And, that's the next year where you get, Dak and Zeke.
Yeah.
And then the rest, you are competitive the rest of the during that tenure. So, I feel good about where they are. I just as far as the word tank, like to go out there and purposely try to lose. I ain't with it. I'm not with it, man. I'm sorry.
I do want to flip the script though. I want to look at the schedule from the other side of it. Our teams could actively go 0-5 and still not change anything, right? The teams below us are A, terrible, and B, don't play each other.
Yeah.
Those teams that are between the Giants and Jets and the Cowboys, aka those 4-5 win teams, the Niners still play the Bears and the Rams. The Rams still play the Niners and the Saints. The Bengals can actively help you by beating them. There's a ton of self-fighting all chilling there in that 4-5.
Correct.
The Cowboys have, of our three teams, the Cowboys have the most to gain mathematically by shooting par the rest of the way because the teams behind them can pass them more easily. We would actively have to go 0-5 and then get some help from like New England accidentally winning a game. The one thing I at least have, the Jags can beat us directly. You guys just have to sit and wait and hope a team wins a game by accident.
Yeah, and on top of that, like it was crazy. I saw the playoff picture during the Detroit Bears game early on, and it had us in the hunt. And I'm just like, how? But the team directly in front of us was the Bears, who lost. So we already got a tick by winning against the Giants. And believe it or not, Dallas is in the hunt for that 7th wild card seed.
Technically, I mean, listen, you're 5-7. If you somehow miraculously went out and you go 10-7. And then you start talking about tiebreakers and stuff like that. But that's not what I'm looking for. I'm just looking for them to be competitive. Like you have the Bengals coming up. You got 10 days to get ready for them. They haven't been playing their best football this year, and it's definitely a winnable game. And then after that, I forgot who they have.
I think we got the Bucks.
I think it's the
we got the Panthers, Bucks.
The Panthers are right after. The Panthers are right after the Bengals.
Yep.
And that's definitely a winnable game.
You can do us a favor with that loss. Everyone agrees if the Panthers can win that game.
Right.
That also help cover my over.
Listen, just play as tough as you can. Like I said, the 4 is not coming back this year.
No.
So I'm not interested in any type of real run. But, like I said, I'm just looking for bright spots in development at this point of the young players. We're seeing it with Overshown, making an incredible play.
Dom DeMarco for Overshown.
Yesterday.
Dom DeMarco. Star.
I mean, do you know how much – I'm just looking at everything he did. He got hit by he had to run over the running back. He tips the ball to himself, catches it, runs it. Like, this, the
That's
athleticism.
How trash Joe Locke is, bro.
That was crazy.
That was insane. That was crazy. When I saw the highlight, because I was driving
when you
when
don't
it
see a
happened.
screen that's not opening up, just throw it to the ground.
Right.
He still
tried to throw it, and that guy with his arm range was able to do that.
Tommy DeVito doesn't make that play.
Tommy DeVito, I don't know if Chicken Cutlets makes it.
Tommy Cutlets insanity.
Cutlets.
But no, I'm completely with you. The idea of Travis Hunter and CeeDee Lamb is ridiculous when you think about that.
It is.
But that's a pipe dream.
I also don't think you can get that high.
Yeah,
even 5-12.
5-7. Yeah,
5-12 does not get you to Tommy Hunter.
And our schedule's
not Tommy Hunter. Travis Hunter. It might get you to Tommy Hunter. The way the Cowboys draft, who knows? But it's not getting you to Travis Hunter.
But no, I think we're gonna win too many games.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think at least 2 more. I think we're gonna beat the Panthers.
I think you beat the Panthers.
Yeah, and the Bengals game's a toss-up.
The Bengals, it's a toss-up.
Yeah.
It depends on how you play.
Diggs back, right?
Yeah,
Eventually Diggs should be back.
We got 10 days off.
Yeah.
I believe you'll have Diggs and Bland together finally.
You have 2 more division games with the Eagles and the Washington.
We just got Cooks back. They said Jerry, who loves announcing things, DeMarcus Lawrence is coming back for this next game as well. Like we're not gonna be in the top 5. I'm reserved with that. So I'm
reserved. I didn't want to be in the top 5 though, because there's nobody really there that Dallas needs, if that makes any sense.
I love Travis Hunter though.
I like Travis too.
That's me.
But
That's
it's
just
like
me.
it almost makes me feel like is there any really room for him? You know what I'm saying? Because you got Bland, who you're probably gonna have to end up paying.
Yeah.
You have Trayvon Diggs, and it's like, all right, so where does Travis fit in? You know what I'm saying? Unless you're putting him at the receiving side.
I think he'd be a unicorn. He'd be doing what he's doing in college. I think he's going to be primarily
primary receiver. Listen, we've seen it done before. Deion was the primary corner.
Deion did it.
Primary corner, receiver, here and there, sprinkled in.
Yep.
And yeah, okay, so it's like the reversed, basically. That makes a lot of sense.
I believe that would be his plan if he was in Dallas. For sure. But I think we're going to finish somewhere in the teens, somewhere between 15 to 14,
I think
16.
We go 7 and 10.
That'd be interesting.
Probably.
I'll take that.
Yeah,
I'll
7
take
and 10, 8 and 9.
A nice competitive 7 and 10 or 8 and 9 is good for me.
Yeah, I'm good for
I'm good with that.
Considering everything that has been lost and how you started the season, that would be like a moral victory win, if you will.
I'm fine with that. And again, like I mentioned before, to me, the development is key. Because we got a lot of young guys. They went all in, quote unquote, Jerry Jones, you liar, with the draft. And young players. That's what they wanted. We talked about it on the last episode, the great episode with D Sizzle and Jason Enrique. This is a soft rebuild for Dallas. They want to get as many young players in. They want to reset the cap next year. Everyone talks. I think Jimmy Johnson. He was doing the Fox like Cowboy script, talking about Dallas's cash strapped, which is complete cap. About the cap, we can open up $100 million of cap space next year by flipping a trigger on Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, and cutting one player. I think Terrence Steele. That's $100 million in 3 moves right there. If Dallas chooses not to do that and actually get busy with free agency with the new coaching staff, then they're just. This is just rinse and repeat. You're going to get the same result as this year. But I believe a new coach and the stink of missing the playoffs, because for Dallas to miss the playoffs is a big deal.
We don't even know if it's going to be a new coach. The
I
way
think
Jerry talking. Jerry talking about.
Jerry's lying.
I don't know. This is a Super Bowl winning coach.
I don't know. I like the pie. I like what we have in Mike. Mike's doing some good things. Man, shut up, man. Like, nobody want to hear what you got to say about that nonsense.
Well, so that's the question on the other side of the tank, which is why, again, because I don't have to live it, I just have to sit over here in Jets Hell. I can take the other side.
It's savages. It's savages.
But if you get to 7 and 10, there's a lot of good things happening. Because right now, 17 teams with 5 losses or less. 5 losses or more. Excuse me. 5 wins or less. That's what I'm trying. 17 bad teams. Is what I'm trying to say. I think the Colts' schedule is too soft. They're going to play their way out of that. But if you look at the other 16, power rankings wise, I think the Cowboys could easily. You can make a case they're the best of the 16 bad teams. So I think you are correct that you're going to end up in that 13 to 16 range draft pick.
Win too many games.
And if you finish quote unquote maybe 3rd in your division, you get a 3rd place schedule next year.
I'm okay with that.
To work with.
I'm okay with
that.
You know
what I mean? So,
but here's
I'm okay with that.
Here's the question: is that sort of middle of the pack and that sort of hey, we made good strides, worth it in order to hear an offseason of defensive Mike McCarthy, and B, an offseason of because the narrative's going to start. Well, they could win games without Dak Prescott. They couldn't win games with Dak Prescott. Is Dak Prescott the problem?
No, that narrative is stupid.
You know it's coming, and you know who it's coming from.
Because guess what?
Can you handle that? Am I going to do wellness checks on you every month?
Yes.
Can you handle that? That's my concern. That this is going to the rhetoric on the Cowboys, because Jerry. The older Jerry gets, the more Jerry listens. Is just the sad truth. And I'm worried that them doing too many good things at the end of the year is going to be bad for the offseason narrative, and may do some long-term, unhealthy things for this team. They're, in a way, them being just being terrible the rest of the way. You can say, well, of course they were terrible. They didn't have their really good quarterback. Now, next year Dak comes back, and then you do everything you two just said you do, and then it's a new day. Yes, it is. But in the meantime,
love you, Big E.
I worry about, will success in the national narrative just be more fodder to aim at Dak?
No, it's crap.
And it should be.
You can say no.
And it should be.
You go for it.
The question is not, is it valid? The question is, will it happen?
I mean, more than likely.
Two very different questions.
But if you're watching football and you're understanding the game and you're watching the game right now, we saw when the defense isn't playing well and when things aren't, right around Cooper Rush, Things have been. We saw the Texas game that didn't look too good. We saw the game before that didn't look too good. Right now, the last two games. First of all, you've been playing probably lesser. Well, not even a lesser opponent because you're playing division opponents, which division is tricky. But it's also division opponents that you have pretty much owned the last few years. So in Washington and the Giants. So. I just think that the defense has really stepped up their play, starting with Micah Parsons and and Overshown. They have been able to do some things that they haven't been able to do early in the year, which is get turnovers, give the ball back to the offense. Oh my God, the Dallas Cowboys had a 100-yard rusher last night.
The first of the year.
The first in 2 years.
The first 20-yard run of the season was from Rico Dabo yesterday.
Right.
The first 20-yard run.
Right. So I mean, if when stuff like that is working, I don't listen. Cooper Rush was 18 for 37 or something like that. That's 50%. That less than 50%. That is not what we want, and that's not what I want. I'm like, he's throwing way too much. They need to get back to the run game a little more. If he's gonna throw, let him throw between that 25 to 28 range max. I don't even really want to see that, but the less he has to do, the better, or you can win with that. But all that whole narrative of this team looks better without 4, that's crap.
That's
if you're a football fan, you watching that's crazy.
That's the Cowboy script for Fox and ESPN and all the national radio clowns and this, that, and the third. This team is at its best when 4 is under center.
Correct.
You know what I mean? And I believe that this development, I keep harping on that, and then we'll get to the Jets and we'll keep it going. But I want to see how many solutions are on the roster right now.
Correct.
In terms of, okay, do you have Zach Martin's replacement at guard? Do you have Terrence Steele's replacement at tackle? Do you have, how many pass rushers do you have? You obviously are going to have to completely revamp the defensive line interior wise.
You do.
Because Osa is going to be a free agent.
Got to keep him though.
You got to keep him. I definitely
got to find a way to keep. Got to find a way to keep.
Got to. And again, what is going to be the plan to build on the development that you have now? Because the plan, I'm telling you guys right now, and he knows it because he's a Cowboy fan, he's living in it. If the plan is 95% draft and then bargain basement bullshit in terms of free agency, it's going to be the same bat time, same bat channel. I don't care who the coach is. I don't care if it's Mike for another year, lame duck year. I don't care if it's
Bill
Belichick, Ron Rivera, Pete Carroll, Rex Ryan, Jason Garrett, Wade Phillips. It doesn't matter who.
Jason Witten. Because that's what it's. I'm telling you, Dallas is just so predictable sometimes.
Exactly.
And it would not surprise me if it says breaking news, Jason Witten is named the next head coach.
I wouldn't be shocked either. I want Bill. I've wanted Bill since last year. I still want Bill. I want Bill.
I feel like it's past its time.
Bill,
I want some young, innovative minds. I don't want the old guy.
Ben Johnson's not coming, bro.
I
love Ben Johnson.
Ben Johnson, I don't even. Okay, I get it. The Ben Johnson hype, but see, this is a case where we don't even know if he's a good head coach. Now, offensive coordinator, he can call some plays. But we have to be careful where we be like, I want this guy as the head coach because I don't know if he can be a head coach.
Leader of men.
Yeah. So if I could get Ben Johnson as my OC, I'm with it. But I don't think I really want him as my head coach, to be honest. So
who do you want?
Head coach wise?
Yeah. Right now, McCarthy, his contract runs out, which we all believe is going to be the case when Dallas misses the playoffs. Contract runs out. He's not fired. Just contract runs out. Right. Dallas is looking for a new head coach.
Wishful thinking, I would want Prime.
You want Deion Sanders?
Yes, because when you think about building and you think about old school values, he has them. You talking about a Buffalo team he inherited that was 1-11 the year before. He came in there with that fancy speech of I'm bringing my Louis bags. They go 4-8. They had a rough year. They didn't have the hogs. He told everybody, get me now while you can. And then the next year when he goes through a full recruiting process and more transfer portal, here they are at 9-3. They fumbled their opportunity to control their own destiny to get to the Big 12 championship game. But Prime knows how to build. That shows that you know how to build from scratch at that. So I just think that that's one of those situations where because of how him and Jerry's relationship is, he could be one of those guys that say, hey, Jerry, if you bringing me in, I'm running the ship and you got to stand back. Like, I don't need you in the way. I know how to do this. And I think he's going to hold guys accountable. He has a famous quote where he said, listen, I don't care what you're getting paid. I have a problem with guys getting paid a lot of money and not doing their job. That's one of the problems with Dallas. Dallas plays guys because of their contractual, commitment to the team.
Yeah, that's true.
And some of them are not good. Our safeties haven't been good all year.
No.
But they continue to keep playing, continue to keep going out there. And I feel like those type of shakeups are sometimes that you need that, because there's somebody that's behind the guy that's getting paid the big bucks that's probably actually better or hungrier.
Hey, you said wishful thinking for Dion. It is wishful.
It's wishful.
Because he had like 5 guys that just committed.
Wishful.
Yeah.
And those guys will not commit to Colorado.
I can't.
But that's
loves-
the change. You
that's
just
the wishful.
thought of.
That's the wishful. Yeah, that's the
and
change that we need to see.
He loves coaching in college.
He do.
He loves coaching. He does not want to go to the NFL and deal with millionaires talking to dudes who, you got a $100 million. I got a $100 million contract. Why am I listening to you?
Yeah.
He does. He'll get into a fist fight.
Right.
He does not, and he doesn't
Yeah.
want to do that. So
Yeah.
now it's gonna be Bill.
It's wishful.
It's gonna be Bill.
Oh.
But like the video. Real quick. Jets. Jets.
I could be quick about this.
Jets, and then we'll recap the games.
Yeah, this one to me, honestly, even taking my fandom out of it for a minute, to me, this one is the most obvious of the should they be tanking. Strategy-wise, there is no right. At least your team had an off-season branding attempt. We said let's give it the full year to see if it works. Well, the strategy here was go all in on Aaron Rodgers. By definition, that's not a long-term strategy. We know there's nothing left to see. That's going to hit a wall sooner than later, no matter what. In terms of you said about the young guys. For you guys, we know our young guys are good. We know that, and everybody else is a free agent. We have 26 free agents coming up this offseason. You got the Robert Saleh guys who are going to just follow him wherever he becomes a DC. You got the 1-year all-in guys. We got like Moses and Tyron Smith who were only there to try. Yeah, thanks, buddy. Trying to go all in. That didn't work. And then you got things like by accident the entire safety corps all just happened to be free agents together. I mean guys like Oliver, Eccles, Adams, Clark, the whole gang. So I mean there's a ton to do. There's nothing left to do. It's clear everyone has given up on this particular iteration of this team internally. You saw it in the entire Cardinal game. You saw it in the second half of the Steeler game. At this point, just make sure Sauce, Garrett, and Hall don't get injured and get out of there. And the other thing is about this team, they could accidentally win some games along the way, right? You look at the schedule.
You don't want that.
Right. Seahawks come across the country to them. Rams come across the country to them. The Jags are a very winnable game. 2 against the Dolphins traditionally are a split when neither team is dominant. So, I mean, you could easily see a world where 6 or 7 wins. We could find you guys, right? We could catch the Cowboys by sheer accident. You guys are 8 times better than us. We could just accident our way to the 15th pick. Especially that Seahawk game, by the way, the Geno revenge game.
Geno.
I want to see Aaron Rodgers throwing the ball into the stands. They need to give Geno a chance to get comfortable in that game. If Aaron Rodgers doesn't throw 4 first half picks, he's not doing his job to tank. But they need to tank. Their schedule's too soft to try and win games and still lose like the Giants' schedule. They need to actively just stink the rest of the way.
Like the video. So real quick, we got about 20 to go. The Thanksgiving Day games. First and foremost, real quick, what time is it? It's clobbering time. Give me pipe bombs. Give me pipe bombs. Tell
me when I'm telling lies.
This pipe bomb is brought to you by Off the Top Sports Podcast in Newark, Brick City. New Roads Media, as well as Bravery Studios. And of course, U-Goboy merch. Grab the merch. Grab the merch. Grab the U-Goboy merch. Available in the link below. Matt EBERFLEUS, former linebackers coach for the Dallas Cowboys, believe it or not. He was fired after one of the most egregious, comical endings to a football game I've ever seen in my life. The Bears had it, I believe, at the 25-yard line.
Correct.
And if you were to tell me that they wouldn't even get a playoff, let alone a field goal, they wouldn't even get a playoff with time expiring, to lose in such embarrassing fashion. Mind you, they just fired their OC, 2 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago, yeah.
Just fired their OC. And the offense, in the second half, granted, was cooking. Caleb Williams had 3 tutties. Keenan Allen looked like the Chargers Keenan Allen. Yeah. He was dicing them up. Like the Lions had no answer for him whatsoever. And you lose with the time running out in the most embarrassing fashion. He couldn't have been, and his dumb behind is on a Zoom call talking about, I should be against San Francisco next week. Bro, he was already fired before the Zoom call. Like, you should have been fired, really, after the game.
Yeah, after the game.
After the game.
Got back on the plane.
Should have been allowed on the plane. He's fired. My question to you guys real quick, which we'll recap that game. Was it time to fire him?
It's been time. And this is a couple of weeks.
Cannon.
Couple of months.
Another cannon.
Couple of months ago,
Cannon.
I told you, I told June, franchises can mess up a young player. I feel
Facts.
like, they did all of this to, bring Caleb Williams in as if Justin Fields was the problem. A lot of, real Chicago fans wanted to keep Justin Fields. They didn't feel like there was anything really wrong. And I felt like he wasn't getting developed. He wasn't being coached. I never was an EBERFLEUS fan.
Same.
And, here we are. Justin Fields goes to another team, looked really good in his 6 games that he was able to play this year. Caleb Williams has his struggles, ups and downs, but he needs a better coach or he's going to be ruined as well. So, the decision to fire him, a smart decision.
And look, when Poles got there, the GM, that was not his guy. Y'all gotta remember that. EBERFLEUS was there already.
Yeah.
So he don't owe EBERFLEUS nothing. Same thing with the Daniel Jones and the Giants situation when Joe Shane and Dable got there. He was been there. They don't owe Daniel Jones nothing. That's why I understand the contract with that. So why this guy wasn't going after how the season went last year?
Right.
It's mind-boggling. So it's just. It was time for him to go. Like a couple of weeks ago. I said a couple of weeks ago. He said a couple of months ago.
I say months too.
Yeah, but it was just like it was not the fit anymore. I purposely think he blew that game yesterday. Bro,
Savage.
I know.
Savage.
Savage.
You got one timeout. Call the timeout.
Call the timeout.
Call the timeout. Call the timeout.
You know, also I'm disappointed at Caleb Williams too.
Yeah,
like
change
for
that-
you
change-
not to know the
yeah.
situation.
Right.
I know it's mics in these helmets
They
too.
are, they are.
I know the offensive coordinators are yelling. Spike the ball. Do something.
Yeah.
Well, just to categorize, and I agree with you completely. We'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah.
But just to categorize this, to put it into to what you were saying, it's been about in this millennium. So going back to 2000, it's been about 1,400 times that a team on the final possession of the game for them was within 3 and was within the 30, exactly where they were. Right. This was the first time that a team managed to run out the clock while still having a timeout.
Trash. Give me 50 of
That
them.
means guys like Adam Gase, guys like Pat Shermer, guys like Brandon Staley, none of these guys managed to do what he did. I know you hate the G word, but this was generational ineptitude. This was literally once in a millennia nonsense we saw. Now, with all that being said, I'm with you guys because even if I'm just a veteran offensive lineman, when I see this clock starting to run down, if I just literally punt the ball into the stands and take the 10-second delay of game runoff, I'm still in better shape than what ended up happening.
Yeah.
So you could make the case that, any of those 11 guys could have stopped this, but where I'm officially, I'm with you guys, but where I officially lost it with EBERFLEUS yesterday, he Joe judged himself. When he got on the mic and he said, I needed to keep that timeout so that the first play we move down the field, then
What?
we call the timeout,
Yeah, I remember that.
then we kick the field goal.
Lord.
You are effectively saying, I don't believe Caleb Williams has the ability to throw the ball where a guy can get out of bounds. Or I don't believe I can throw it to DeAndre Swift for like 6 to 7 yards, have him get out of bounds, and have my kicker kick a 50-yard field goal. He demonstrated no trust in Caleb Williams, no trust in his backs, no trust in his kicker. And if you're a coach at all, let alone a coach of a young team, and you don't trust, bye. Time to go. That's
Tell
all
me
it
when
is.
I'm telling lies. Mongo cooking.
Tell
He's
me when I'm
smoking.
telling lies. Tell me when I'm telling lies.
Hell yeah, that's what we do on here. On this show, U-Goboy Podcast live from Bravery Studios.
You go, boy.
EBERFLEUS is gone. They'll be in search of a head coach in Chicago. So the next game. How about the Cowboys? Yeah. Listen, so I was very encouraged by, again, the development of the defense. The defense. That's what I'm taking from the. That's what I took from the game. The fact that against your awful offensive line,
Health is wealth.
but health is wealth. Micah Parsons. The line is always hungry. He looked good,
And he makes a difference.
He makes a difference, man. He is still the best pure pass rusher in football. I was about to say baseball. It's baseball season in football, and Micah his contract is going to be illustrious. Like it's locked in stock. Everybody who the clown shows talking about they should be actively trying to trade Micah Parsons right now. Dan Orlovsky, you bozo. Dallas ain't trading Micah Parsons. You don't trade that type of player.
Nah. Wait, I'm about to say it.
Nah,
Generational.
Listen, it's like Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Micah Parsons is generational for real.
Facts.
No, seriously.
Tell me when I'm telling lies.
Yeah, and Dallas needs to, Hugo, they got to get ahead of this, though.
Tell me when I'm telling
You do
lies.
not make Micah Parsons wait and, him not come to camp. You need everybody to be in camp.
Facts.
Everybody to get the ball rolling.
Facts.
You should actually be getting Micah Parsons ready. Like, you should be having his contract drawn up right now so
Facts.
that, in January, whatever, when this season is done, you're bringing him to the table and you're getting him signed. You cannot. That way you can move forward in the free agency period, competently, and exactly, how much money or whatever that you're working with. You cannot get behind this and mess this up like you messed up CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott.
If they drop the ball, fumble the bag like they did, and end up signing Micah in like an hour before our Week 1 game,
right?
You know for a fact it's still a clown show in the front office, and we're not serious about competing next year in 2025. Because how could you? This is tailor-made right here. You know he's going to be the highest paid defensive player ever. Right. You know that he's going to make more than Bosa. Just take Bosa's contract and add a couple zeros to it. Right. You know that. So don't play the game of like, the contract's a lot more complicated and this, that, and the third. And don't do that nonsense because you're going to miss the playoffs. We were joking and kidding up here about these mysterious wins we're getting against bad teams, but you're going to miss the playoffs. Mm-hmm. There's going to be a stink about the organization. You're in a soft rebuild. Mm-hmm. Get ahead of the contract. Flip the switches, get the $100 million, actually use free agency, and make an actual legitimate run in 2025. But it starts with his contract. And what he showed yesterday, albeit against a bad Giant team, he's still an alien. He's still him. Micah Parsons is still the best pass rusher in football. Tell me when I'm telling lies.
Tell me when I'm telling lies.
It wasn't just the Giants. I mean, he did it the week before, too.
Yeah, he's an equal opportunist abuser. Did it to the Texans. He's going to do it to the Bengals. Yep. He did it to Washington. He does it to whoever he plays. Yeah. This is who he is. He's been doing it since Penn State. Yeah.
But y'all know how that front office is.
Yeah, it's a clown show. It's a clown show.
They love entertainment.
It's Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey in our front office. We've been going through it.
Since in the 90s, he did it with Emmett. Why y'all don't think he's going to do it with Mike?
Emmett missed 2 games. He missed 2 games.
They went 0-2, and he said, all right now, Emmett.
All right, Emmett. I'm going to give you what you want.
I'm so sorry, Emmett. I'm sorry that I misjudged how good you are.
I'm so sorry. Can you get a Super Bowl? And he did. And he did. He gave you a Super Bowl after your dumbass should have paid him. No, PTSD. Yeah,
I know.
Months in advance. So let's not have a repeat of that. But the defense continuing to develop. One more time, round of applause for Demarion Overshown. He is a star. Honestly, I wouldn't be mad if we don't get the running back that we both want from Boise State. Hint, hint. If we don't get him,
he said that we both want.
Exactly.
I never said that.
Oh, I want him. I want him.
You probably.
I wouldn't be mad. You wouldn't be mad if we got him.
I wouldn't be mad.
Exactly. If the Cowboys don't get a certain running back from Boise State, I wouldn't be mad at another pass rusher from Penn State, Abdul Carter, who's cooking.
I did not want you to say that out loud.
He's a baby Micah.
Come on. I did not want you to say that.
Who I don't think is going to be on the board.
He won't be there.
He won't be there anyway.
He won't be there. The Jets are going to draft him. The Jets are going to draft him.
Okay. Yes. Sorry, I also was holding that same card close to my chest. But he's number 1 on my board by a mile.
Sorry. But yeah. So this is a big offseason. This soft rebuild that we talked about on the previous episode. This soft rebuild needs to be accompanied by a very competent, aggressive offseason that is going to include a coaching hire. Don't get it twisted. Mike is still gone. Yeah. I don't care how many post-game speeches he makes with gravy on his shirt. I don't care about none of that. Mike is still. All the Mikes are still gone. Michael Imperioli, Mike and Ikes, Mike Epps. Who else? Jersey Mikes. All the Mikes. Mike Jordan, Mike Jackson. So don't get twisted. Big changes in Big D. So let's get to the final game. Tua and the Dolphins yet again losing in the cold. They can't play in the cold. They can't play in the cold.
Why that offense look like that? It don't look like how it looked the past 2 years with him under center. It look like something is missing. Everybody's there.
Well, listen, I don't think Tua's healthy. That's number one. I don't think he's healthy. Number two, I think that their offense, I think their team has regressed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they've taken a step back. Like, it can't be all Tyreek Hill.
Last year, it caught the league by surprise,
Exactly.
I think. And this is what we talk about, how, if year to year, these defensive coordinators, they start figuring out your tendencies and what you do and what you like to do.
Tell me what I'm telling lies.
Once they figure that stuff out, if you haven't elevated your game or taken the next step to figure out these defensive coordinators so that your offense can still be potent, this is what you get. These are the type of results that you get.
Look at San Francisco. I mean, it's not just the injuries. Not just the injuries, because when they had all hands on deck, they was looking iffy.
Yeah.
Brock Purdy has been figured out.
Yeah, and it didn't take long.
No, it didn't. We also talked about it in the offseason. The changes that the Dolphins did make were on their interior O-line and D-line. And so when plan A isn't working and it comes down to get a little ugly, those guys who could control the trenches when things weren't working last year aren't there anymore. So there is something different, and it's subtle because you don't look at that team and think they might need to win a game in an ugly fashion. But look at last night. I mean, that's the definition of an ugly game, right? Going into Lambeau on a Thursday night, they can't win games like that.
No, they're not built for that. And if they do get into the playoffs and they play a team in cold weather on the road, it's a guaranteed L. It just is. Tua can't throw in the cold on top of that. So just think about that.
We always start the season was not what they do in September and October. It's what they're going to do in November and December.
When it gets colder. When it gets cold.
That's the
it's
thing
over.
with the Miami Dolphins.
All right. So we'll get to this final one, and then we'll bring it on home. The Black Friday game that just took place with the Chiefs and the Raiders. Basically the ending was the Raiders saw the ending of the Detroit game and was like, hold my beer. That was comical.
Savage.
So before we even get to that foolishness, the Chiefs keep on winning, but the Chiefs do not look good.
They don't.
They do not look good. I'm sorry. They don't. And I'm not betting against Patrick Mahomes. I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about the team. The team does not. They don't look like a juggernaut that's gonna just walk it to New Orleans. They don't. I'm sorry.
Man, it's tough. You're talking about they're trying to go for a three-peat, but they're winning these tough games, and it's almost to the point where it's like at some point in time, it's gonna go down.
It did with Buffalo. It was a tight game. They needed key plays and key stops. And instead of third, Josh Allen made all the plays and all the throws and all the runs, including that crazy quarterback sneak. Yeah. You know what I mean? From like the 30-yard line on the draw or whatever. Yeah.
But that's what Josh Allen do against them in the regular season.
Regular season.
Playoff time is a little different story.
Yes.
So, that's just nothing but history repeating itself, basically. He's had success against them in the regular season. Postseason has been all
and we seen this movie last year, too. Yeah. Actually, the Raiders played them tough. I think it was
last
Christmas.
They beat them. They actually beat them.
And Christmas. And they went on a run after that.
What it is about the Raiders.
Yeah. Division game. We always talk about
division games are crazy.
Yeah.
Regardless.
And they went on a run after that. So, it's probably one of those games, man. They might go on a run after that. Go get that offense going. Because they got Hopkins. They talking about getting Hollywood Brown back.
Possibly. Yeah, I remember he's been out with injury.
And that's why, like you saying, they don't look good. And that's why I don't understand why. They just got Pacheco back today. You got all the pieces there. I don't understand why the offense.
Rashee Rice is out.
Yeah, but
you're missing. And Pacheco just came back. Yeah. So it's going to take them a little minute. They got him on a pitch count.
For sure.
So, which hurt me today on my ticket. But, they got him on the pitch count. So, it's going to take a couple. But they're getting them back at the right time. You have about 5 games, for the regular season that's left.
It's getting cold.
It's already getting cold. And, so that 5-game stretch is where, you'll be able to get back into football shape and stuff like that. And I think, like I said, you ain't going to want to play them in the playoffs.
No.
They're just built for those moments. And, you know,
winning
even though
pedigree.
they're not as explosive or, you know, they don't run up the score like we used to seeing them do in years past. The scary part about it now is that they're winning tough football games by one possession, and you think you got them and they coming back. It's many different ways to win games.
They've won, I think, 14 straight one-possession games.
Exactly.
Which is, I think, just tied the New England Patriots
Right.
during their dynasty a few years ago.
If you take Hopkins, Worthy, and Kelsey's games out of the equation today, you just look at what Mahomes did with the other guys on the field. He went 10 of 15 for 94 yards. Meaning when you have Mahomes just being surgical, just taking what the defense gives him, if you reduce that fraction 10 out of 15, it means every 3 downs he makes 2 completions for basically 10 yards. He's going to go right down the field in the playoffs when instead of getting cute, he's just taking what the defense gives him. I'd still be terrified to play this
Yeah,
team.
for sure. I mean, he's got 3 rings for a reason.
Especially when you got Andy Reid and Spags calling them the
Yeah.
plays.
They're right now they're defense led, but the key moments, we all know this in the playoffs, is your quarterback. It's moments, and he's still the best at it. So, but I can't wait for the playoffs. I'm excited for it. We probably know how it's going to end. You know what I mean? But we're excited for it. Meanwhile, the Raiders again. I just want to get that take real quick, and then we'll bring it on home. Are they taking for SHEDEUR? Like, why?
And that's
why
was it so comically bad? Why?
I don't know. I think that I don't know if he's going there. I don't know if he's going.
It makes sense though.
I don't know if he
Bright lights, Vegas.
I love him to Vegas.
I would love him to
Colorado is right
Listen,
there.
listen.
Daddy could make it to the
Prom
game.
said, I'm involved, and if he don't go to the right team, or if the right team not about to draft him, I'm not letting that happen.
This ain't the right team over here either.
The Raiders organization is awful. Awful. Front office wise, if he's looking at anything or paying attention to anything, which we know Coach Prime is paying attention to, the better run organizations in football, the Raiders have not been it. That is kind of where quarterbacks go to die.
You think Prime's gonna let his son go to the Giants, to Vegas or the Giants?
Vegas before the
I think Vegas.
Vegas might sound a lot better.
I think he's
in the
gonna
West
go
Coast. I'm telling you, Vegas sound a lot better. And we just get Cam Ward. Everybody be happy.
There you go.
But he's black. We can't.
I know we can't look over it. I know.
Give me the dun. Give it to me again.
Giants.
One more time.
They talk that. I'm telling you, man. They
The
talk
Giants
that.
are going to trade back and get Will Campbell in the first round, and then they're going to go after a quarterback. In the second round.
They're gonna trade back. They're gonna trade back and get a defensive tackle from Michigan.
Should have did that 7 years ago.
I'm just telling you.
I need to quickly say, because we did a great job there of completely not answering your question. So to answer your actual question about are the Raiders tanking, the fact that they didn't go for it on 4th and 4 from the Chiefs 38 when it was a 3-3 game suggests they're not actively trying to win. But at the same time, it's very hard to lose a 2-point game in which you miss 3 field goals and not accidentally win. Like, they were in position to. You can't fake field goals like that 3 times. Like, it's not like he kicked it to the due left at a fan. Like, they were flirting with winning that game the whole time.
One was like a 65-yarder.
It was like 56, 58. Listen, I'm not blaming Carlson. Those were very explainable misses.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm just saying, if you're trying to tank, that was the worst tank job ever. They were in position to win that game many times. So, and you can't control a kick as easily as controlling throwing it away on 4th and 4. So I think it's sort of a half tank right now. I think they're very happy to not be actively giving it their all, but if the points are there and they win a game by accident, they're going to win it. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been kicking all those field goals.
SHEDEUR is going to the Vegas Raiders. And Cam Ward is not going to the Giants.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
I stand by that.
I don't know about the Vegas thing.
Jaguars and the number 1 pick.
I don't.
That's where he's landing.
I'm gonna look at that. I'm gonna look.
You
It
think
might be a surprise team.
He ain't going to Giants. I'll
I
bet this
can
bag
bet
of
anything.
trolleys he's not going to Giants.
Man,
I'll put everything he's not going to Giants.
Yeah, he's not.
He's not. And
I don't want him.
You want Cam Ward?
I want Cam Ward.
Yeah, but your owner
You always
doesn't
want
draft.
the worst. So get Cam Ward. Get Cam Ward. Yeah, get Cam Ward. That'd be great. I'm just telling you. Go ahead.
Hey, look.
It's all about translating to the. I know what we see in college, but next level translation.
Agreed. All right.
Shedeur has it all.
Round of applause. This was a great episode. Again, where can the people find you guys, and then I'll bring it on home?
Columbus, Ohio.
Oh my God.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We are Penn State.
Yeah, you can find us Off the Top Sports Radio on YouTube, Twitch, all of the platforms. Every Tuesday, 6 to 8 p.m. on A Squad Rebel Radio.
Yes.
Yes, and we're pulling up. We will pull up. We got to do the crossover again. Let's set that up. Let's set that up.
Definitely,
Yes, sir.
Definitely.
So round of applause. Thank you guys for tuning in. Steve's got a beard. That's the belt. Cody Rhodes has that right now. Things galore. Shout out my brother King. These are trolleys. He's got a beard. I got a beard. He's got a beard. He's got a beard. We love you guys. See you next week. Peace. Yahtzee.
Whoa. Hey, this a vibe, nigga. Whoa. Woo. Secure the bag. I need more. Hey, 3P Jordan. Whoa. Woo. I can't keep it on a low. This a whole vibe. I don't need a plug, no cosign. Thinking out loud, that's a gold mine. Mask on, yeah, COVID-19. Baby mama, yeah, looking like Rihanna. Rest in peace to George, rest in peace Brianna. Still kicking like Van Damme with my niggas in Amsterdam.
You go, boy.
Yahtzee.